Hey class, here is a little video to help you give you some reminders on the lesson we did today. So we are introducing negative numbers to our lives. We're starting out with a basic number line. So there are two types of number lines. First and most common one is horizontal. So it is key to always have 0 on most number lines. And the numbers are going to get smaller as we go to the left and bigger as we go farther right. And each tick mark represents an increment, which means how far we space out the numbers. And you can choose any increment you want, but you want to keep them consistent. So for this first one, I'm just going to count by ones. So our number line goes up by ones. And we count all the way to 4. The positive numbers are easy. And it's important to remember for our negative numbers, as we get smaller, we are still going to start at -1. So we don't want to have any, like a -4 or something, right to the left of the 0. So looking at this number line, we can see that -4 is smaller than -2. Because -4 is here, and it is farther left than -2. So -4 is smaller than -2, but we also know that 4, positive 4, is bigger than positive 2. So our brain really has to adjust to the idea of negative numbers. But we know that 4 is bigger than 2 because the dot is farther right on the number line. So number lines can make our lives very simple, but they are time-consuming. All right. So the opposite of a positive number is the negative version of that number. And the opposite of a negative number is the positive version of that number. And 0 is the special case as usual. It does not have an opposite number. Or I guess you could say, the opposite of 0 is 0, but that's the same as having no opposite. So if you notice on this horizontal number line, my increments were by 2, which is perfectly fine. You'll see number lines with all sorts of increments, but they're still very even. And even though I did not draw a great one, you can see that 2 is 1 tick to the right, which means that -2 needs to be 1 tick to the left. So equal increments, and they're in the correct order. So if I was looking at +6 here, and I wanted to find the opposite of +6, that would be -6. Because the opposite of a positive number is the negative version. And we can even see that +6 is 1, 2, 3, tick marks to the right, and -6 is 1, 2, 3, tick marks to the left. And the opposite of, let's say, a negative number, let's say -8, the opposite of -8 is going to be +8. So opposites are pretty easy to remember as long as we know that 0 does not have an opposite. And our last little reminder is that we have vertical number lines as well. So a vertical number line goes up and down instead of left to right. And for this number line, I have 0 in the middle. I'm going to count by 5s. So 5, 10, and 15, which means that going down below 0, I would have to have -5, -10, and -15. I think you'll do well on this lesson, but this video will help if you need it.